Morning guys, so I was doing a bit of painting. I thought I'd just make a quick sort of talk and chatty type video as I'm painting away. Yeah, it's just got back from work, just driven back from Hull today. Sat at home now waiting for the wife to finish work, so got a couple of hours to myself. So what I'm doing is, I've got all these old Imperial Guard vehicles that I've had for years. Early 2000s, late 90s I think I got these guys, and this is how I painted them up back then. Very clean looking, very as if they're just rolled out of a factory. So what I'm doing is I'm like weathering them all up like this. Hopefully you can see that alright, but it's got a bit of mud splattered on there and scratches and stuff like that. I think they look a lot better like that. I put some still photos at the end because I know the light's not great. If I turn my lamp on, it'll help a little bit. Maybe turn this lamp on. No better? Ish. Yeah, so I'm just weathering them up. For something to do really. I'm just killing a bit of time. The way I do it, I just use sponges and dab the paint on the sponges. So got a bit of black. So to do the scratches, or the areas where the paint's all kind of worn off and you can see the bare metal underneath, hopefully you can see that alright. Yeah, just use sponge, just dab it on. What I've been told is less is more kind of thing, but I'm a bit of I get carried away and I always do it. Kind of annoy myself a bit, but just a little bit of black on there. And just dab it on your palette, get most of it off, and then all I'm doing really is where I think it would get warm, like on these corners here for example. Yeah, just dabbing a bit of black on there. Try not to do too much. A bit on there, on that sharp edge along there. Yeah, so hope everyone's doing alright with their hobbies and stuff, and I haven't been commenting quite as much as like I normally would. I've been quite busy with work and things. Obviously with Easter leave, spending time with the family and the wife and stuff as well. I haven't actually made a video for a while, so I've actually been working quite a lot on the historical stuff, so there'll be a bit of an update video on my pics coming shortly once I get round to making a video. But I've actually painted quite a few of my pics up. That's a long running project that seems to be taking forever. I'm not quite sure why. I seem to concentrate painting on what I'm gaming at the time. I'm playing a lot of 40k at the minute with my son, so that's the reason why really my channel's become a bit Games Workshop-y and a bit 40k-ish. It's not because I don't like historicals anymore, far from it. It's what I'm getting most games of, and can't really put a price on spending a lot of time with your lad, you know what I mean? So that's the main reason. Yeah, so just dabbing this black on here and there. I'm probably doing too much already. Just little dabs just to break up the surface. And if you're going to do this kind of thing, always put the transfers on first. I think I put these transfers on about 20 years ago, so you can blend it in with whatever weathering you're going to be doing. I'm no expert at doing this weathering. I know there's all these powders and things you can get from Tamiya and MIG and things like that, but so I haven't got any of that stuff. I'll just do it I suppose it's a bit of an old-fashioned way, I suppose. I think it looks alright. I mean, these aren't going to be display models, not in any competitions anytime soon. So they're just gaming models really. So yeah, get a bit of that on there. Hopefully you can still see what I'm doing. Yeah. I'll crack on. I'll just get the rest of this black put on. I'll come back to you in a minute. So the next thing I do then is after I've finished all the black, I do the same thing again, but a little bit lighter, using lead belcher or any sort of chainmail-y dark silver colour. If you haven't got anything like this, just use normal silver, mix a bit of black with it. That'll do. I don't want it too bright a silver, so I just use the old lead belcher. And what I do is I use the same sponge with the black paint on, just dab it in the silver. Don't bother getting a fresh piece of sponge, just use the same one. And all I'm going to do, I do hope you can see that, is where I've gone over with the black, I'm just going to gently dab it with bits of silver, just to show where the paint's rubbed off, and you can see the metal sort of body of the vehicle underneath. Yeah, that's the next bit I do. I was saying before about projects that I've been working on, so my mate Stuart's got me into what's it called? Kings of War from Mantic Games. That's a really cool game. When I first read it, I wasn't overly impressed with the way the combat works. It's very sort of like, I know there's like I go you go games, but it's very in your turn you literally do everything, and your opponent is literally sat there doing nothing, so he can't fight back or anything like that. But because it's such a fast playing simple game, it doesn't really come into it like it would with other games. So your opponent's not going to be sat there for like an hour doing nothing, go away, make a cup of tea and stuff like that, comes back and you still not finished your turn. It's not like that at all, so it's actually quite good fun, so I'm enjoying it. And it's giving me that chance to get my high elves out as well, that have been languishing in storage boxes for years. Got them all fixed up, and I made a little video series on working through those for fantasy. It's all quite strange really. If you'd have said to me this time last year I'd be sat here doing 40k stuff, I wouldn't have believed you. And fantasy and things, because I'm primarily a historical gamer, so but yeah, it's good fun. It's good fun. I wouldn't rule it out just because it's the Dark Empire Games Workshop and things. I wouldn't rule it out because it's good fun. You can always get a game somewhere. There's so many people into it. I think it's getting bigger as well, to be fair. I'm enjoying it anyway. So yeah, just dabbing away with the silver. Look at that. And hopefully you can see the kind of effect that I'm getting there. It's not too bad. I think it looks pretty cool. Gets away from that. Makes your vehicles look like they've been used, not just brand new factory fresh vehicles, which is something I've been trying to get away with. Away from. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Too much there. Never mind. Be alright. So yeah, that's all the silver done. So the next stage of doing this is I start putting scratches on the vehicle and then adding rust streaks. And the last thing I do is put all the mud on top of everything else. So sometimes a lot of what you've already done might get covered up, but you can still see bits of it, and it's adding those layers on top, which I think looks quite convincing-ish if you don't do too much like I normally do. But I'll get back to you shortly with the next bit. Right then, so next thing I'm going to do is put some kind of superficial kind of scratches on. Don't like if your car gets scraped, whatever colour it is, you have a slightly lighter colour underneath. So this is done with quite a dark green. I think it might have been Dark Angel's green spray paint years ago. I don't think they even make it anymore. So what I'm going to use is Game Colour Goblin Green, and just put a few like kind of superficial kind of scratches on there. Let's get some of this out, because you're going to be, well, I'm going to be doing some quite fine lines. Let me just clean it out. Just going to use probably my smallest brush. In fact, yeah, well, it's a 0. It's got a nice fine tip on it. These brushes, by the way, these ones I use are from Rosemary & Co. Pure Sable, and they've got this sort of triangular shaped handle part on there. So I get really bad cramp in my hands, and it really helps. It just sits in your hand like that. You don't have to squeeze it. Yeah, that's what I use anyway. So water this down quite a bit on my palette there, and just basically just put some little lines here and there on the tank where you think it might get scratched, like for example on the edge of there where it sticks out, maybe get caught at the side of a building or a branch or whatever. And you're just going to do as fine as you can. Watch me balls this up now. Yeah, very thin paint, so yeah, kind of balls that up a little bit. So if you do that, you make like old pig's ear of it like I've just done, and just quickly wipe it off before it dries, and just start again. So let's have a look at this. How can I get in there? Just got a little scratch there. Maybe do another one next to it. Like that. Don't know how well you can see that. Just really fine scratches. What I do is I just go around the whole model really, and just where I think it might get scratched, like around the hatch and things where they've been moving equipment about, there'll be a few little scratches here and there, and the transfer's coming off my finger. Yeah, so a little scratch here. You can always weather over them a little bit. If you make them too thick like I've just done there again, too much paint on my brush I think, you can just weather over them. Yeah, so again over the top of the transfers as well. Just try and blend them in like that. I'm not quite sure how well this is coming out on the video, but I'll put some still pictures up at the end, and you'll be able to see what I'm rattling on about. Sometimes as well, I like to do just like a series of dots that goes into a line, if you know what I mean. Like that. So it's quite handy if you've got a bit of sponge or something close to hand, and then you can rub off any mistakes. Failing that, just have another paintbrush, a damp paintbrush. You can quickly wipe it off before it dries. Yeah, there's just a couple of scratches really. What I'll do is I'll go on the whole model doing that. I'll be back with you for adding some rust. Okay, and so that's all the kind of superficial scratches on there. It's not massively noticeable, but areas like that, hopefully you can see that. The sun's blasting in, quite unusual for North Yorkshire, but they're noticeable enough. Just adds that extra layer of kind of interest really to what is quite a plain looking green tank basically. So what I'll do next then is a bit of rust, and what I use for this is Trolls Layer Orange. Again, just get a little bit of it out onto your palette there, and water it down. I water it down quite a lot this little bit, because what I want it to do is to run into all the crevices where you think rust might collect. So let's have a look at the turret. Hopefully you can see that alright. I know it's really, the sun's kind of blasting in a bit. So look, see these little hinges here on the hatch. So if you just put a bit on top of there, and the way it runs into all the cracks there, look, like that. Hopefully you can see that of what I'm doing. It just maybe comes around a little bit. like that. Hopefully you can see that there, with the orange is kind of running into all the details, and then you got these like little bolts and things where it might be maybe one of them's come loose and a bit of water's collected in there and it's gone rusty. If you put too much on, just take a little bit off your brush there like that. Putting streaks on, try to keep these to a minimum. I went overboard on one of my other tanks and had massive rust streaks everywhere, so let's put one here so there's a bit of water collected. Can you see that? A bit of water collected here underneath. Put a little blob of it there like that. You might have to do a couple of layers. It's quite hard to do with. It's just coming down like that. It's very transparent paint, so might have to let that dry and I'll come back and strengthen it a little bit later. Yeah, that's kind of the effect, so you've got a little bit of it streaking down. I do keep that to a minimum though, unless I'm doing like a proper wreck, or like a building or something that's got a lot of metal parts to it, like a factory type thing, then you can put a few more of them on. But if it was on a vehicle, you wouldn't have that many big massive rust streaks coming down. Not if it's in use anyway. Might have a few, but yeah. It's as simple as it is really. Yeah. A couple of little streaks there. But, there's some hinge things at the back here. Put a couple on there maybe. Put a bit in here. Where the water might gather. The vehicles have been on campaign for a while. They're going to start getting rusty and damaged, and where the paint gets stripped off, it's no longer protecting the metal, so you end up with rusty areas. Put a little bit on there, I suppose, on that bit where it's all chipped. Just kind of hint of it. Yes, that's about it really. So we've been told is less is more, so you could continue doing it and you end up entirely covering your vehicle in scratches and rust and all the rest of it. So you need to kind of control yourself. Well, I need to control myself anyway when I'm doing it. So these like cog things, I think it's some part of the track mechanism sort of thing. Put some on there. Some water's got in there. A bit of a streak coming down. And yeah, what I'm getting at really is you can weather your vehicles up for just for your games really. If they're gaming models, you don't need to go out and buy all these expensive powders and whatnot, although they do look awesome, don't get me wrong, when they're done properly. Like I say, I haven't got any of that stuff, so, and it seems like a bit of an unnecessary expense for me for gaming models really. I mean, you can tell that's supposed to be rusty, that'll do me. So it doesn't look completely ridiculous. Hopefully you can see that alright. Like I say, I'll put some still pictures on the end because the lights, it's kind of been weird today. It's been very un-Yorkshire-like. So I'll get back to you in a bit anyway, and I'll just continue with this, and I'll get back to you in a bit and I'll weather up the tracks. Okay then, so that's all the like rust effects on there. I don't know how well you can see it, but it is on there. It does make a difference to the whole model. Like I say, I'll put some still pictures on the end. So the next thing I do then is I use game colour again, and it's earth. It's just the earth colour. I'm holding it upside down because there's hardly any of this one left. What I do then for the tracks, just get some of this out. Get a fresh sponge, and then quite heavily, I normally start underneath, and then all I'm going to do is just splat it all over the tracks, pretty much like this. So you're splatting the mud everywhere, there's no way the tracks are going to be clean. I was saying to my son earlier on that he was asking me why I was doing this. He said if you've ever seen a tank, which I have, out in the field, it's only out in the field for about a few hours, and all the camouflage that's on it doesn't really mean anything because the whole tank's just brown because it's covered in mud and dust, and that's on a modern tank, and the amount of crap that gets thrown up by the tracks just covers the entire vehicle pretty much. So obviously I don't want to do that, I just don't want to have a load of brown vehicles, but the tracks definitely would be covered. So yeah, so basically all I'm doing is I'm going around all the tracks and I'm dabbing that on. And what I also do is on the underneath, I'll show you one that I've finished. Let's move that to one side there. Is I do the whole of the underneath like that, so I dab it all on. So the whole of the underneath is covered, and then I go around the sides as well, the tops of the tracks, the front there, and try and make it blended in like that. So I'll crack on, I'll do that, and then we'll come back to the next stage of what I do when I'm doing it. So yeah, I've kind of gone around all the tracks now, I've done the underneath, and then what I do is I blend it in on the side as well there. So all I'm going to do is starting off at the bottom there, and you're just building it up like that. So it's kind of not a solid colour, but it's blending it up with it stronger towards the bottom. So it looks like that, and that's how simple it is really to get that effect. I think it looks pretty cool, to be honest, but then that's just my opinion. And this is where I used to do my my vehicles years ago, my old World War II stuff and that. Used to put all mud splattered up the sides and things, and that's kind of what you're going to end up with, something looking like that. Obviously we're going to add some lighter mud on top of that to highlight it, but that's kind of the general idea. And it's just, that just took me less than a minute probably just to get that effect. It just breaks it up, rather than it looking, as I said before, just like a big green tank. So, yeah. So as I was saying before about the whole 40k thing and that, I'm really enjoying it at the minute. I used to play 40k back in like the Road Trader days in the 80s and things, kind of when I first got into gaming. I played 2nd edition a fair bit, and then 3rd edition, and I think it was when it was changing over from 3rd to 4th edition I kind of dropped out of it because I got really interested in historical stuff, especially World War II, and I kind of shelved all my 40k stuff and didn't really think about it much. But with my son expressing such an interest in it and getting into it himself, and he's actually painted up his own army now as well, it's kind of got me looking at it again, and I really am enjoying it, to be fair. I think Games Workshop as a company has changed a lot over the years. They didn't really used to engage with their customers or anything like that, but now obviously they've got their community website and they've got their own YouTube channel and all the rest of it. They do surveys and they actually respond, which is quite a novel thing for them, I suppose. And pricing aside, I think they're kind of heading in the right direction. And there goes my phone. I'll be back in a moment. Right then, so apologies for that. That was the wife giving me a big long list of instructions, which probably won't get done because I'm painting tanks. Yeah, so that's all the mud on. So what I'll do next then, just to add a bit of depth to it, is I give all the muddy areas a coat of Seraphim Sepia, Games Workshop wash. It's a really good one, so grab some of that out, straight out of the pot, and starting on the bottom, I just kind of dab it on. I don't try and be neat with it in any way. So what I'm after is it just adds like little darker patches of mud, just like this. It's a lot of effort really to go to for something that's underneath the vehicle, but if you're like me and you like to keep your vehicles on the table when they've been blown up, you spin them upside down, you know, you are going to see the bottom of them. So yeah, try not to let it pool anywhere really, and I leave some areas without any ink on, just to make it well, a little bit more interest really, isn't it, I suppose. That's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, what was I on about was yeah, 40k. So as I said, I used to play it years ago. Playing it again now. What can we say about 8th edition? 8th edition 40k is a really simple game on the surface of it. So the basic mechanics of playing it is really easy, a lot easier than it used to be. But then there's all this added depth of the list building and the using all the stratagems and all the rest, all that kind of stuff. Adds a lot of interest to the game and quite a bit of complexity to it as well, but in a good way. It's still a nice, easy, sort of quick playing game. This stuff just dies. But I mean, me and my son play, and it probably takes us all afternoon to have a game. So it's not just a quickly set up and play in an hour or so, or anything like that. Well, depending on points, I suppose it could be, but you know, we're enjoying it anyway. Yeah. So as for historical stuff, then I've been working on my picks, like I said. I've now got 6 full war bands painted, and I'll be making a video of them this weekend, hopefully, when I get home again. I'll back down to work again in the morning, so I'll get a video done for those over the weekend. Another historical stuff I've been thinking about then is I've been looking at bolt action again. Mr. Dave Doherty kindly gave me a load of Perry miniatures, 8th Army stuff and Africa Corps, because he obviously didn't want them anymore, so he just gave them on to pass them over to me. So I need to do something with them, and I'm thinking, you know, I might just knock up some a couple of platoons, or a platoon each, maybe a support vehicle each of some kind. What's that stuck on there? Yeah, I might have a little look at that. And then I've got all my Flames of War stuff as well, so I've sorted out as well. So I need to make a couple more videos, and those people seem to like that one. So I'll do another video on the Flames of War stuff. This time I'll look at my Soviet forces and how I've put my list together and what special cards and all that sort of stuff I'm planning to use for those. Yeah, see how we get on with that. So it's not all 40k, although the channel might look like it at the minute. I'm in the background tinkering away with all sorts of stuff, as is normal for me. Yeah. So basically, going around, I'm putting this ink on everywhere, in a kind of haphazard way, I suppose, just to darken it down a bit. I'll go around, I'll do all the tracks on top and then the sides as well, and then we'll have a look at the last little bit. Okay then, so right, last bit, what I'm going to do is highlight the brown areas. It doesn't really matter if the ink's still a little bit wet, because it always kind of blends it all in a bit. And I'm impatient, and I've got loads of jobs to do. And the dog's looking at me with accusing eyes as well, so I need to take her out. This is green ochre from Vallejo model colour. Any kind of light sandy colour would do, so just get some of that there on your palette. Using the same sponge that we did the brown with. I'm just going to get some of that on there, dab some of it off. And then on the tracks, not quite as heavy, hopefully, as what we did with the other brown. We're just going to start dabbing it on, and it looks quite stark. But once it dries, it blends in quite well, like that. So hopefully there you can see the difference. Yeah, so we're just going to go around all the muddy areas and just put that on, and that pretty much finishes off how I weather my Imperial Guard vehicles, or my sort of vehicles really, I guess. I suggested doing this to my son on his Space Marine vehicles, but I think he wants to keep them a bit cleaner. But we'll see, because they do look very clean, his ones, like mine did, to be fair, before I started doing this on them. Yeah. As you can see there, it makes all the difference just by putting that on. Again, still images at the end. I must have said it 100 times, but you'll see the difference a bit more. Let's just get the underneath. And the ink is quite wet. It kind of it helps blend it in a little bit. I suppose it doesn't really matter if it's wet or dry. Just get it splattered on, especially underneath, because you're not really going to see it. You don't want to spend forever doing it. Oops, a bit heavy there. The point of doing it in this way is you're getting something that doesn't look terrible, but it's it's not going to win any awards, but something that looks serviceable for the tabletop, I think. Again, it's down to personal preference, I suppose. You can spend as little or as much time as you want doing this kind of stuff. And then on the sides, just here and there. Yeah. That's kind of what we're looking at. Hopefully. Oh god, the sun's come out again. Hopefully you can see that okay. So I'll just crack on and get this finished off, and then I'll put some images on the end, and you can have a look at where I've got to with them. So if you've made it this far, thanks very much and well done. I just thought I'd try and make a little video while I'm tinkering away with these. Yeah, there you go. It's alright to me. Right, I'll speak to you soon, and bye bye.